Hello, I am Reverend Irene Smith, and I'd like to welcome you to Generationally Speaking. Here at the table, we come and we discuss life issues, no matter what they might be. As we sit at the table with each generation, we all learn, we all grow, we all are inspired. Generationally Speaking. Hello, I am Reverend Irene Smith, and welcome to Generationally Speaking. I am so excited to have you here with us on today. My co-hosts, Minister James Durham and Pastor Shamika Latte Oliver, they'll be with me in upcoming episodes. Believe me, they're not too far away. And so I'm just excited today about my guest. The Bible talks about God being a God of another chance. Sometimes we say second chance. I don't go with the second because I already passed the second, the third, the fourth, and fifth. I just like to say he's a God of another chance. And so my guest, Leonard Smith, is here today, and I want you to meet him. So welcome, Leonard.
Thank you very much.
It's so good having you here today. I want to first start off by allowing my audience to get to know you. So tell me about young Leonard in your early years, a young boy.
Okay, well, young Leonard, I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. I went to school, went to Arrowhead Elementary. That's when my father had moved to Walker Mill. I got put out of that school, and I started going to alternative schools. So it was a school called Episcopal Center for Children off South Dakota Avenue.
So let's go back. So when you say you got, something happened that you got put out of school, what grade are we talking about?
I want to say probably like third or fourth.
So third or fourth grade.
Right.
And that's pretty young to have been placed in an alternative school. So what was, now that you're a little older and you can look back, what was it going on inside of young Leonard?
Well, that's it's not hard to answer. I gotta think on that. I really can't grasp it, but what I think was going on was I was a troubled child. That's what I can say. I didn't really know my placement, but I was still young, but I didn't know my placement. So, I did a lot of following, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Like, I just wanted to fit in.
Right, and this is so good because this conversation and what you're sharing is actually going to help another parent, a grandparent, or an aunt or uncle who's raising a child, or even a child who's listening in. Because in third grade, it's hard to understand all your emotions and how they move you. But did you find school the classroom to hold your attention?
What do you mean, like hold my attention?
I mean, in the classroom itself, the teacher.
So once I got put out of public schools, so I was dealing with basically a lot of issues going on within self, and then with my family being split, and I was growing up in foster care, so I was back and forth from my daddy, who's now deceased, but I was back and forth from him, so I would never really had no actual placement to call home. Mm-hmm. So once I got put out of the regular school, Arrowhead Elementary, which is right beside Walker Mill Gardens, with the old Walker Mill Gardens, I started going to Episcopal Center for Children. Mm-hmm. Episcopal Center for Children had an overnight program.
Okay.
So I was staying there. I grew up in the alternative setting. I grew up in the alternative school, and that school, and it went from elementary to middle.
So going there, you went there in third grade?
I believe so, third, fourth.
Third or fourth grade. How did that shape you then? What did that do to young Leonard, shaping your thoughts?
Well, see,
it's difficult.
I guess I came into more conflict when I got into them schools. And it wasn't mere so with the students, it was with the counselors or the staff, because at that school right there, they can slam you and restrain you. So I'm like, wow. But so I just guess I was just tough Tony, but they was slam me and ball me up and all that. So I guess it just made me more angry, you know. And once again, I'm not even really understanding what's really going on around me, but trying to, but not knowing the right way.
Right. In those alternative schools, did they offer you, when you look back now, did they offer you any kind of counseling?
Yeah, so I had, it's funny that you said that because I was thinking about this last night. I had a couple of staff members that was at the school. I remember Miss Emily was the nurse. I had lost my finger at the school, a piece of my finger. Yeah, so I lost a piece of my finger trying to hold the back of a door open with a mat. And it came right off. I'm talking about, I'm screaming. I'm 7. I'm talking about screaming to the top of my lungs. Miss Emily came in and saved me. How she saved me? She saved me with a cup. She brought a cup in and put a piece of my finger in the cup. I'm talking about take me to the hospital, but there was also other staff members there named Robert and Lori. They were married. Robert was in the military. And they actually became like family to me. And it's through their spirits that I felt the love.
Right.
So I do want to add this, as a child, I remember being 8 years old in the foster home screaming to the top of my lungs, talking about, I want my daddy, I want my daddy. That was the foster home that I shared with my little sister that I had reunited with not too long ago after 25 years, but I shared that home with her, and I got put out of that home because I was a ruckus, but I was just a lost child wanting his father. And it was just so, I just was wanting love. And these people that wasn't even the same skin color as me, they showed me so much love and affection in a way that a child needed. So I will always remember them. And if they ever watch this, I just want to tell them thank you for even being a part of my growing up.
So when you say you were 7, that's like 2nd grade.
Yeah.
2nd grade. That's traumatic. That's trauma. It's 2nd grade. So now you navigate through that and you go to middle school and high school. What was that like?
Those was alternative too, right? So we went from Episcopal Center for Children. Then we went to, where did we go first? I believe we went to Riker 7, Maryland, which is out Cheltenham, Surrattsville, I believe. And I went there after Episcopal Center. Then I graduated after that when so that was middle school. Riker was middle school and high school on one side. So I did middle school on one side of Riker, on the other side high school. And my last year going in, finishing high school, I couldn't finish it at Riker. I went to a school called Florence Patel Academy for boys. It was off of Ashwood Drive in Capitol Heights. So yeah, it's all alternative.
So did you stay overnight or did you go?
No, so Episcopal Center for Children was the only overnight school. That was the only overnight, and that's when I was younger.
When you think back over those years, what were your hopes, your aspirations? What did you dream of becoming?
You know, we used to sit in the classroom, and I remember people used to ask, or teachers used to ask, what do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself? What do you want to do? And I never really answered that question because I never really knew. Because I didn't even know what I was really looking for. Yeah, I mean, so I lost everything. And I did, and I was just. When I look back on my life, I am thankful that I'm still here, but at those points of time in my life, I was ready to give up.
Right.
Because what am I here for? I don't have no mother. I don't have no father. My daddy died. He died when I was 18, but he was dying. He was deemed to die in 94. He didn't leave until 2005. Thank God for that. But, so I was with him, then I wasn't with him. I'm being passed around to home. I'm going to a school where they can slam me because I'm acting out. But through it all, I'm thankful. So I never really knew what it was going to bring me to, but I knew that I was still in the search of love, indefinite love, the love that wasn't going to go anywhere. You know, and that's what I was in search of, and I didn't find it at that time. And
what about other family members? Did they reach out?
The only person I really had was my little sister. My biological mother, I remember seeing my biological mother, and the only vision I ever heard is her laying in a casket when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
And I went back to find my Aunt Dolly, which is my mother's sister. But that was later on when I was 18, when I actually got out of foster care. I went to find them. So at one point in time, I was staying with my uncle, which is my real mother's brother, I mean. But Ralph, which is my father, my dad, Ralph Andrew Ferguson, took me back. And I was back living with him. It was just, I was all over. I was all over from, it was brief with family. Right. Foster care was permanently. So
in elementary school, you going to this alternative school, were you in foster care then?
Yes. So
talk to my audience a little bit about the foster care system from your perspective, because we can read about it, but when you live it, it can be totally different.
So the foster care system is bittersweet, because you really be wanting to be with your family, your loved ones, your biological people. But I can sit here and tell you how hurt I was growing up in it, but then I can also tell you how thankful I am and how I wish that I really would have took full advantage of it, because I had a full ride to college. Had I would have been cooperative in foster care. But I was in houses where I was getting beat up on and stuff like that too, because I ain't never really started fighting and lashing out until I was 18. I used to really just always try to turn the other cheek, and just I used to be a punk. I can't lie to you. I can't sit up here and sugarcoat it, because I come from the streets, and what it is, that's what it's called. Like when you just let somebody continue to poke you and push you around. I used to be that person that just go on the shell, just please leave me alone, please leave me alone, until I lashed out. But I had some good homes as well. We were talking earlier before we even started. Fanny and Ronald Boyd, those were my foster parents at one point in time, and I started going to Pastor Mike's church, Spirit of Faith, with them, and I started looking at life different. All my morals and my goals and the way I move myself now is because of what I learned in their household. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Dream big. Why are you talking about getting an apartment when you go get a house? This is what they taught me. This is what they instilled in me, to work. If you don't work, you don't eat. And I'm grateful for that, and we still have a great relationship. So I guess in life you get the good and you get the bad. It's just how it goes. But I didn't understand that at that point in time. Now I do, and so like, but anybody that's going through the foster care system right now, I just want to be honest with you. You coming up in life, you're gonna meet people that like you. You're gonna meet people that benefit you in a good way, and you're gonna meet people that don't like you, that you might just be a paycheck to them. But don't let that discourage who you're trying to be, and don't be lost to who you're trying to be like I was. If you wouldn't know that you really want to be something, grow to be a photographer, grow to be something strong and powerful, continue to do that. And you have a voice, use it. If this parent is not treating you right, you let the person that's over top of that parent that placed you in the house, hey, I can't be here. I don't like the way they treat me. I've done that before. I've voiced my opinion, but it's just, you have a voice, so don't be silenced. If something is going on in a home that you don't like and it's hurting you, speak out about it, because they pay these people to look after you, to care for you and love you. Some of the houses you get love, some you won't. Go to somewhere that you get love, because you have that choice. You don't have to be somewhere you don't want to be. So
what do you say to a young child who may be in foster care, or maybe not loved, not being taken care of? What do you say to them to motivate them to try to, because it's hard to say, seek the high ground, to believe that there's more. When you look around and it seems like a no-win situation.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
It's okay, because it's, this is complicated, and what I'm asking you is taking you back to some places where there's pain and there's trauma, and I'm asking these questions and having to relive that stuff is never easy. So another young person who might find themselves in that same situation, as you said, I didn't fight back. I didn't do this. What would you say to another younger Leonard about being in that situation mentally? What do you say to yourself to keep you afloat and keep you from how do you teach them or tell them what to do with their anger that's being built up inside of them?
Well, first off, man, like I said, use your voice. Mm-hmm. Use your voice. Let them know what's going on in our house that you don't like. Let them know that you can't deal with it. See, what people fail to realize is probably never been in these situations or in foster care or had their back up against the wall and they had to fight their way out even when they wasn't even a fighter, as you're looking at one right now. And I just appreciate you for giving me my voice again, because I was just lost for words, but now I got it. So basically, use your voice. So let these people know that, hey, where you place me at is not good for me. Because when you're beating on somebody, when you're hurting somebody, when you physically and mentally provoking someone, that's what turns people to savages, mm-hmm. to killers. Yes, it does. It really does. So I'm just a peaceful person, but you continue to poke me, you continue to mess with me, so I have to be a savage in order to get respected. Or, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is what happens, but people don't realize that, and they're quick to, oh man, this boy is this child is this girl is this. You don't know what I've been through. Mm-hmm. You don't know what I'm going through. Do you know, I had a foster mother that was a pastor. We all backslide. We all sin. But I had to grow in and learn this too. I'm talking about, we at church one day and she's preaching. We get at home, she said, "You're not even my real son." Because in the argument, I'm 36 years old. Do you know that still mushes me up like tissue on the inside and I still cry with that? Because I was looking for love. Mm-hmm. It hurts. So they don't know what we go through. But I can tell you the benefit of it, man. Like I say, open up, use your voice. There are places that you can go to that will show you the love, that you're not just a check. Mm-hmm. And you get a free ride to college. I had my own spot at 18, before I got put out of that. They gave it to me. It's called independent living. I wish I would have took heed to that, but I wasn't ready. But it's a lot of things that go forward, but you gotta know what you want.
But to the young Leonard I'm speaking to, mm-hmm. the counseling that you needed, that would dig deep, was it present?
No, it didn't get present until Bro, you tell it's gonna be like this. You hurt me a little bit, Red. But I love it though. I love it. I appreciate it. I really respect it. It didn't get present until I was 18. Mm-hmm. It really didn't. Wow.
The reason why I ask these questions is because when we see young people out and we read in the paper about them committing crimes earlier, 12, 13, 14, when we can pass judgment without realizing, without understanding their journey, what got them there. And so this is a part of our conversation, because coming through foster care, it's tough.
Oh yeah.
It's tough. And like you said, there are good homes and then there are not so good homes. There are homes where you're loved and there are homes where you're abused. But you live through that. I go to my house, but you go and live through that hell.
So out of the homes that I've been in, I think I only had 2. No, I could say 3. But from 8 to 18,
Wow.
3.
Wow.
So, like I said, Fannie and Ronald Boyd,
Very good.
Durham Boyce. I was with him when my father died, and I seen him not too long ago. And a lady by the name of Miss Janice, I was calling her Aunt Janice. Great. I was still acting out in those homes, but that love, that support, it was there.
What made you act out? Think about it.
So, I guess I just wanted to be running in the streets. That's what I wanted to do.
But why?
Because so also being confined to a house too, I wanted to be outside, have fun. That's why I wanted to experiment, do what my friends are doing. If I see the kids running down the street, I'm trying to run down the street. It's just things like that. So I wouldn't act out intentionally. I would just, do sneaky things. Like, kids get into stuff. So that's what I was doing. So I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to act out now. I'm going to sneak out. I might not go to school this day because I just want to have some fun, thinking it was all fun and games. So it wasn't just like I was just trying to be rebellious to them because they actually showed me good love. Mm-hmm. They did. And that's the first time I ever named them, but they did. I'm happy about that. I'm happy that I had the chance to meet them when I was going through at a so vulnerable point in my life, but they was there and they helped me.
All right. So when you look back over your life now and you think about it, what are some moments where you saw your life transition? You saw a turn, a shift.
So I really seen a shift, when I graduated 18.
Okay.
That was the shift of my father died in 2005. I want to say he died in like February. Either February or March. I think it was February. And I grabbed my diploma June 9th of 2005. So the only man that loved me and that was my everything right there because he told me so much in the time that he was here, and it felt like I was just robbed at the time. He left me early, and give me a second. I apologize.
We're gonna take a moment. We're gonna take a moment.
No, it's good.
Okay, we're gonna take
Appreciate
a moment.
Appreciate it. But see, it's a live therapy session, and this is how I continue to grow. I used to shame upon stuff like that. I'm not talking to nobody, but that's because I heard somebody else say that. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody used to tell me back then, I ain't eating no chitlins, and the first time I tasted them, it was good. They cleaned them right. You know what I'm saying?
So, when we think about decisions and choices and life-altering markers in our life, who or what encouraged your choices?
Well, so I had positive choices and I had negative choices. So we're gonna talk about them all.
Talk about them all.
So once again, as I appreciate it, as I go back, I didn't well, after I lost my father, when I was getting ready to grab my diploma, like I said, in June 9th, and after that was the first time I started getting locked up. So I started chasing the streets because here we go is the only man that ever loved me, the only man that was my daddy, is gone. That's the only. So I didn't realize the love that I was telling you about through the foster homes till later on, till I look back. But I knew love right here. This love, I'm talking about when you're a child, your father used to put you in the lap, ride a horse and all. Like, yeah, daddy, this is my dad, you know? And he's gone. He said, "Nah, grab your diploma." You know, and my father also was the one that told me, "Don't be no punk.
Right.
Don't let nobody whoop on you." See, a lot of people take that. A lot of people take a lot what you say and try to spin it around and all that. But I ran away to my dad's house, and my daddy said, "No, you can't be no punk and be in this family." That didn't tell me to go out and be a killer or a gorilla or anything like that. I said, "Boy, don't let nobody beat on you. You don't beat back. Don't do that." You know, and I fought my false brother, which is my god brother to this day. But I felt good about that. But my father was just telling me to protect myself.
Right.
I took that, ran them out with it. Because now, at 18, now I wanted to be something that it wasn't even destined for me to be. I wanted to be a gorilla. I wanted to be in the streets.
So now you're out in the streets. And do you have a home where you can rest in, or is it one of those places, one of those spaces in your life where it's just pillar to post?
So at that point in time, I graduated from high school, graduated from Florence Patel Academy. I had the independent living program. I was over there in Kentland. I had my own apartment. There was an older lady that lived upstairs from me. I guess she didn't like the sight of a young black dude, and she's black like me too. I don't know, that's so much going on with our own color amongst our own color. It doesn't make no sense to me now. But I can see it now. I couldn't see it then. She didn't like me. I didn't have no live music. I didn't even really be in it because 18, I started going back where I was from, born and raised at 1218 18th Street Northeast, around M Street. So I just would come in there and lay my head down, get up and leave and all that. But I guess she didn't like what was going on. So I was in the apartment for a while. And I forgot what actually had transpired, but something had happened one day. And I think I said something to her. I said, "Oh, ma'am, I don't know why you always saying something to me or you don't like me. I ain't did nothing to you." You know, and all I know, I left. When I came back, she had her sons.